G'day, Tony here from Australia. We have the FW450 3D heli, and we're going to do a compass calibration and talk about all the dramas, okay? Now first off, when you put the USB software and the H1 software, the driver for the USB and the H1 software, when you put it on your laptop, make sure that you right click and run by administrator, and also reboot after it's all installed. Another handy hint, make sure your antivirus program is disabled for say 30 minutes while you're installing and doing everything here, and you won't have any trouble. A little bit fiddly to install. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it helps to do that process. I've tried it on Windows 7 and Windows 10. This is Windows 10. It works on both. So if you've got software that doesn't work, well, it's nothing to do with your Windows, okay? It's something to do with your installation. Anyway, it's pretty straightforward. You get the H1 software going and go to the sensor tab, okay? And when you're at the sensor tab, plug it in first, of course. Now I've used my own cable. It's longer and it's round and more flexible. This is the proprietary cable that came with it. It's practically useless, but it does work. But it's, you know. Anyway, once you've got it going and you've clicked on connection, everything will light up to show you everything's going, and on the bottom left hand side it'll say calibration required. That's fine. Then just click on calibrate, the magnetometer as they call it, and it's just a simple matter of, I've got the blades off to make it easier. You don't need the battery in it. It's just a simple matter of going through all its axes, so spinning it around like that, okay? I usually do both sides like that. Then invert it and do the same, okay? Right, spin it at least 360 degrees and then rotate it like that, okay? And finally, as you're doing this, of course, you'll see the progress bar moving, and finally end over end like that. And I like to go both ways. You don't have to. And have a look down there and you'll see the progress bars completed, and it'll ask you to reboot. You please yourself whether you do that or not. You can pull that out, reboot, reconnect, and it will show you that compass calibration has been, or magnetometer has been completed successfully. Okay, so that's really good. I've been for a flight. It flies very well. A few dramas. I couldn't get the tail boom in when I was assembling it because I'll just show you here. Let me see. I'll just tap on the screen to focus. Hang on. Very hard here. Ooh, I might have to just come back a bit. Yeah. There we go. Now, see that aluminium bracket there that the tail boom plugs into? That aluminium bracket, okay, is held by these two screws here on this side and two screws on the other side. Now, in that aluminium bracket, there's a 3-pin electrical connector, okay? And that 3-pin electrical connector was upside down, all right? Now that electrical connector is obviously the wiring from the ESC to the tail motor. Just tap on there. Focusing on this thing's hopeless. So the tail boom wouldn't go in because the 3-pin electrical connector is a specific shape to only allow one connector, one fit, just like the XT60s here for the battery connection, very similar. So I had to pull all that out and remove the electrical connector. There's 2 screws on the and turn it 180 degrees and put it all back together. Now that was you know, I don't know. I'd say a lot of people are getting these and they're thinking, why doesn't that tail boom go in? Well, okay, another thing. The proprietary battery. Oh, hang on. Okay, another thing. Inside the battery cage here is a full length of Velcro, and you had the same. You had the same on the proprietary battery. All right. Now that's the proprietary battery. Oh, you can just see it there. I've focused in on it. All right. The proprietary battery doesn't have any information on it whatsoever. It just says 68 watt hours and 450 milliamp hours. I mean, no burst rating, no C rating, no nothing. Now the, you know, everybody will want to know this. I do, you know, but nobody ever gives this information, and that is that the battery width is 32 mil, and then we've got here 42, and the length is oh, what is it? If I can sort of try and, yeah, that's it, and the length is around 110, right? So about 110, about 32, and about 43, 42, yep, okay. Now, on the proprietary battery, it did have a Velcro that went all the way along. Well, that's just ridiculous because I couldn't get the battery out once I put it in. I had to get a knife to go in and separate the two. So what I've done, I've taken the Velcro off up to here and cut it there. So it's only just got this small amount of Velcro. And I've got a battery strap there just in case. But no problem. I've done inverted flight. I've thrashed it around. The battery doesn't drop out, so we're all good. Now, this is the other one I've got. It's a, just focus on that. Okay, I bought this one. It's a Z battery, 5200 milliamp hour. Okay, it's 60C. The dimensions are the same, except it's a bit longer. Okay, so the dimensions are the same, only it is 150 millimeters compared to 110. So, and again, I've just put a little bit of Velcro there. Okay, this bigger one, I haven't flown it with this one yet. I might do a little bit later, but it fits in quite nicely. The only modification you have to do is right here. Just focus on that. Yep, right there. Right here. There's a couple of cable ties, one there and one here. Okay, you've got to get rid of those, and where the cabling inside, you probably can't see it. I'll just focus there, sort of. Inside, there's some cabling there that the cable ties secured. I just use a little bit of hot glue to secure those cables. So this bigger battery, right, would slide straight in. So the bigger battery, if I put the strap around it like so, you can see that this bigger battery will slot straight in to there. So fits in perfectly. It weighs 500 grams. This one, the proprietary battery, weighs 330 grams. All right. I get about a bit less than 10 minutes with the proprietary battery, and I haven't checked it with the Z battery yet. I'll probably go out there this afternoon and give it a mad thrash. See how we go. Just another point. Let's see. Here we go. Now, I know anybody that buys these things obviously knows how to fly them anyway, but I'll just give you a little bit of a clue here. Pressing these two buttons here simultaneously will boot the remote up. You've got to make sure all the switches are up. If you haven't got them all up, it comes up with a warning. All right. So when they're all up and you've got it on, then you boot the heli up. And when you've got that up, a little blue light will be flashing on the flight controller. When the blue light's flashing, have a look around, make sure there's no one around. No dogs, cats, no little kids running around. Then flick it over to GPS so you can please yourself, GPS or 3D. If you've never flown a heli before, just flick it to GPS. Right, GPS mode, that's the second switch here. Okay. I mean, if you haven't flown a heli before, just flick it into GPS. I mean, you can start off in 3D if you want, but GPS, okay, wait about a minute, because that's how long it bloody well takes. And then the light will go to a solid green, and that'll tell you you've got GPS lock. And about a minute, that's, you know, that's about average. I mean, sometimes I have to wait that long on a drone, you know, so that's okay. Once the light turns green, you've got GPS, you've got to unlock the ESC. So what you do, you pull the sticks out and down, like that, and hold it there for what would seem 5 seconds or so, until the light on the flight controller starts blinking. When it starts blinking, let go of the sticks and then just flick it to run. Hang on, where are we? Just flick it over to run and it'll fire up. Wait for the heli to attain proper rotor speed, and then just ease I'm in mode 1 here, so I've changed the remote to mode 1. You can do that in the settings, but mode 1, this is your throttle, so just ease it up and it'll just take off without any problem. And then you can do all the flights. The zero flight that flies, it does, if you've got it facing you just in front of you, okay, you've got it facing you like this. If it's like this just in front of you, but obviously further away and a little bit higher, above your head preferably, and you flick it into zero fly, it will do an orbit of you. It'll go around like that and do an orbit of you. It's a tight orbit, so you don't have to be too far away. Okay, maybe 4 or 5 metres, and it'll do an orbit of you. Okay, that's zero fly there. And then if you go to 8 fly, it'll do a figure 8. Okay, I don't know. I'm sure my grandson will get fun out of that, but the normal flight is probably the way to go. I would hesitate to say that in the H1 software, there's a section there where you can turn off the low battery return to home, which I've done, but I wouldn't recommend you do it. I mean, I've done it, and I've just used a low voltage battery beeper on the balance port of the battery. You know, those little beepers. I got it set to 3.8, and I tell you what, you can hear it when it hits 3.8. And the other thing too, once it gets to 3.8, it won't invert. If you flick the switch to invert and it doesn't invert, you know your battery's low. You need to come down. That's all I can say. It flies well. I've had some dramas putting it together. It comes in 3 pieces. You get the main body, of course. You get the main body, the tail boom, and the rotor. Okay? There's no instructions on how to put the rotor on. You wouldn't think there'd be a drama, would you? It took me maybe 5 minutes to figure it out, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but there's no instructions on how to fit that. It comes with a bit of a quick start guide, and there's a explanation of the flashing lights and what they mean. I've seen on some videos you get a spare belt drive. That's the belt there. You get a spare one. Well, I didn't get one, but I also know on some websites on YouTube, people didn't even get a battery. Well, I got a battery pack, so I guess I'm lucky. I don't know. So that's about it. I can't really offer any more advice there. Only if you have any trouble putting that tail boom in, oh well, there you go. At least you know. Don't send it back. Otherwise, it could be months before you get it back. I've sent them an email and a couple of photos, so hopefully that'll sort things out on the assembly line. I don't know. The canopy, it's fiberglass. It's quite nice. It's just slightly damaged in the packaging. I don't know whether you can see just there, a little bit of damage there to the paintwork, and on the other side too. There's where is it? A little bit of damage right there. Not much. A couple little scratches. Really, I mean, I thought it was packed quite nicely. It had was packed in foam and double boxed. So really, they didn't do. And this was packed twice into like little bubble wrap and like a tissue wrap. So they didn't do too bad with that. That was actually mounted on the heli itself. So I thought packaging, I'd give it maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 for the packaging. The quality of the heli, I'd say, if you don't take into consideration how it arrived with the electrical connection being upside down, I'd say it's a beautiful heli. It flies beautifully. If there's a bit of wind, and as I came to land, the wind just suddenly picked up, You have to be very, very careful and have it pointing towards you with the wind coming from behind you. If the wind is hitting the nose, that's the best way to land. Don't land it on the side like that or back to front. Like, have it pointing into the wind when you land, otherwise you'll end up in the shitter. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope that helps out. The connectors are XT60s, pretty standard for this sort of thing. And yeah, it's a beautiful machine. It roars in the air. Anyway, I'll put a couple of pictures on and a 3-second video just to give you an idea. So, thanks for watching. See ya.